Okay, so in today's video, I want to talk to you about how I price my work no matter what market I'm going into. Today, I want to specifically focus on senior portrait photography. Now, this will work with any genre of photography, so it's very important that you know that this method is the same no matter what you're doing. It could be photography for seniors, newborns, plant still life, whatever photography you're going after, you can utilize this method to find out exactly what you need to charge and how you need to charge and who you need to target. So think bigger than you do right now. That's the first thing I want you to do. So if you live anywhere in a city or a town that's growing, you will notice that people are putting a lot of marketing research into putting new chains, new places. For instance, where I live, Starbucks is starting to pop up in every little outlying part of town. We have probably 80,000 people in the Lake Charles area where I live, and we probably have 7 Starbucks at this point. To me, that's pretty interesting because 5 years ago, we literally only had maybe 1 or 2. Maybe 10 years ago, I can't remember exactly, but I remember there was one we could go to right by the mall. The mall had one inside, it was a small one. And then everywhere they had these little serving Starbucks, you know, in little places. It wasn't a full-on chain, you know, like when you go to the grocery store, how they have a small Starbucks inside, whether it's Kroger's, Ralph's, if you live in California, or whatever grocery chain, they would always have like a small little, we proudly serve Starbucks, right? McDonald's is the same. They put little strips on the road and they count how many people hit the bump so they can find out if this is a good location. Raising Cane's, all these companies, they all do it. And a lot of times when you see a McDonald's pop up, it's probably not too far away that a Burger King will pop up somewhere, or another chain, Taco Bell, something like that, because they're all utilizing that research to see where their customers are going. And as small businesses now, with things like Claude and Gemini and ChatGPT, which we'll use today, 5, we can go in and get those same analytics that we need. So what I like to do first is I like to find out what city or what area I'm working in. And today, for this example, the biggest city close to me, it would either be New Orleans or Houston, Dallas maybe. I think it would be pretty good if we use the Houston area. It's probably one of the biggest cities around me. So today we're gonna hop into this ChatGPT, I think it's ChatGPT 5 at the time, and show you exactly how I'd go in to find information to start building my senior photography packages in that market. Now, you're probably wondering, like, why are you building different senior photography packages in different markets? Well, you have to, because the customers behave differently. And I know we like to all say, well, it should be one price and then everybody should have the same thing. I used to think that way as well. But different markets demand different prices. So if you want to keep yourself at whatever status you are, it's going to adjust by the way that people do life in different markets. So for instance, housing is typically the main proprietor of every market. So if houses are low, then prices are typically gonna be lower. If prices are high, then housing is probably gonna be moderate to upper end on cost. It's just the way that economics work. No matter where you live, it's all kind of predicated off the housing cost because everybody has to have a place to live. So the first thing I do when I jump into ChatGPT is I tell it, hey, you are a you are a researcher, R-E-S-E-A-R, researcher helping my small business find a new location to break into the Houston, the greater I cannot type today. Greater Houston area. Let's sample different areas. In the city. Please only focus on the research. In other words, I'm telling it, don't try to use me or use what I've created in the past to come up with ideas and speculation for what I'm trying to make, okay? And then last thing I want to put is ask me any questions you need to know. And then I'd probably need to tell it that I'm a senior photographer. I'm telling it, hey, you're a researcher, help my small business find a new location in the greater Houston area. I am a high school senior portrait photographer. Now, we have the Woodlands in North Houston, 120,000 people, and it's $143,000 per household, 800K. This is a good area to potentially work in. It says very high affluent people with money. There's large corporations here, so might be a good idea to set up shop there. We got Sugarland, very, very hot spot. It's got a lot of schools, larger high schools, 3,000 to 4,000 people per school. Cinco Ranch, Katy, Cypress. So it's giving us a bunch of different areas where we can start thinking about doing business. And then from there, we can kind of just say, it's asking us some questions now. It's saying, are we a luxury brand? Are we like volume, trying to get as many people through the studio as possible? Or we're both. So in this instance, we don't want to be shooting 200 days a year. When we're first starting out, we probably only want to do just a handful of shoots a year. So maybe we want to be closer to that 50 range. So we're going to say number one, we're luxury. We're making the most out of all our time. Number two, we want to do about, let's say 75 seniors. That's just to throw it off. We don't want to do too many. And then we're going to say number three, we're going to relocate permanently. Okay. And then four is saying, what type of seniors do you dominate best? I would like to say we're going to be more focused on sporty seniors, athletes. Okay. And then what is your average senior sale right now? So when you get a question like this, you have to put a little bit more thought into it. So you can say, well, I'm here in Lake Charles, and you just say, you would need to tell it where you're at so it can adjust to the cost index of whatever you got. So you can say right now, I am in Southwest Louisiana, and my average senior sale is around $1,250. $1,250. You need to put your dollar sign. I don't know if that matters. To 950. And the reason why I tell it where I'm at right now, because it's gonna know where I'm at, and it can adjust that price to my new market to make sure it reflects what I need. Because everything, like I said before, is based off of housing. So how much would it cost for me to permanently live in Houston if my current home is $250,000 or $280,000 here? When I go there, if I'm moving to the Woodlands, I'm gonna need a house that's closer to $600,000 or $700,000, because it says the average housing price is $800,000. So everything has to trend up to keep the same lifestyle when I move it out that way. And then once I give it these answers that it's asking for, it's gonna literally tell me top 10 high schools with the most seniors, areas with the highest spending parents, ideal studio hub, And this thing's gonna use old data, so you can't really take it for like everything. Like you can't take it as like, this is it, this is the formula. You take this data and you use your own brain, your own mind, and you start to use that data to figure out how can I use this data to put myself in the best chance for success using history. Okay, so I'm gonna hit start, and then this thing's gonna start thinking. Okay, it's saying, hey bro, thanks for all that. This is doing so much marketing, so much research for me that I would none the otherwise have to go out and find myself. So based on what this thing is telling me, it's saying Cinco Ranch, Katy, that's gonna be the best place. It's telling me I only need 75 seniors because that's what I asked for. And it says a single large Houston high school can offer you 800 to 1,200 seniors per year. So the goal is finding 3 to 6 strong schools, not the entire city. So we just need, in other words, it's telling us we need to kind of find a little hub and stay in our lane. And then the first year we can do that and then see what kind of success we get. If we get really good success, then we can start to try to expand it. So Katy is pretty hopping, pretty popping, especially for young families or families with kids growing up. So it's estimating 700 to 900 seniors per school. So if you take that, that's almost, let's just say 500 for math, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 2,500 seniors, or it says 3,500 seniors opportunity. If we want 75, that's literally 2% market share. That's not a lot. Okay, so it's got Woodlands data. It's got all the data for all the different places. So we can read through it. Now it's asking me more questions. Do you want to target one suburb or dominate it, or multiple? Me, like I said before, I like to do one. I just want to do one place. So question 1, one suburb. Okay, question 2. Now, I'm reading this book right now called Lingo by this guy. I can't remember his name, I think it's Jeff. And he said if you want to serve a luxury market, you need to live like a luxury person. So when I first move out, I'm not really moving to Houston, but if I would first move out, I'd want to stay in somewhere close to a luxury area. So I want to be as close as I can to a luxury area so I can speak the language that they speak, see the places that they're going, and really be able to communicate with them literally on that level, on the luxury level. So that would be my first idea, is I would say I want B, high end, but drivable, high end but affordable, so I can still operate without business strain. Willing to live less expensive and hang out around luxury. So I'm just pretty much saying, like, dude, I don't mind living in a medium income area and just driving in and doing business in the high end. That way I'm not putting all this business strain to make all this money up front to where it's just, I'm stressed out because you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be overstressed and feel like I have to make it happen in order to live somewhere, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. It makes sense to me. I don't want to overextend myself just to look like I'm doing better than I am. So I want to live below my means and just hang out where people above my means or people who are more affluent, and start to network with them. And as it gets bigger, I'll start to move towards that way. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm gonna I told it that. So it's gonna come back and say some stuff, yada yada, whatever. So it's making a recommendation for Katy, West Houston. We got this now, just some knowledge that I have, they're building a loop outside of the loop, and this has happened a couple times. So I would want to be somewhere outside of that loop. So Cinco Ranch, the average income is 170, and then Katy is 95 to 140. So this is some good data. So we're gonna just say, let's go with Katy. It's doing more research than I actually need, so we don't need to go too far into this. But it literally, it's giving me everything I need to know about a client, about where they're at, about what they're gonna spend. So we'll let it finish spitting out all this information. And it's really starting to think for me and understand everything I'm gonna need. So it's telling me home incomes, all this stuff. And this stuff is powerful because you'll notice, like, this is what people want to spend money on. I mean, this is where people have money to spend. Okay. I'm gonna tell it, I think that's enough research. Let's settle, on Katy, Texas area. Let's think about package offerings for these seniors. Now, I am not a do-it-yourself photography studio. I like to hand my clients finished products and unique digital products. So I'm pretty much telling it like, hey bro, I'm not a shoot and burner. I want to give people physical stuff. Obviously some people are still going to want digital products, but I want the digital products that I give them to be unique and set apart. So it's not like, oh yeah, so-and-so took my photos. Now I can just go to XYZ place and get them printed. I want to deliver a full service. So I'm going to pop that in the chat. It's going to come back. It says great choice. It gives you exact ingredients, large school, strong place. So it's telling me, yeah, Katy would be a good area. It's saying your current average is $950 to $1,250, which tells me you're in the right range. So we can actually push that average sale to $1,500 to $2,000 if we move that far away. So it's telling me it recommends us to have a sitting fee. So it's already done a lot of research in this area, and it knows what over the years what other people have done. So we can just have just a sitting fee at $250. And this is no product included. This is just time and talent. Me and an assistant probably going out and getting the photo shoot done. Now, from there, we're gonna have a couple different packages, right? We're gonna have a signature collection. This is what it's saying. An 8x10, 3 gift sizes, social media, digital, and a custom graphic. That's the first one it's offering or suggesting. Then it's gonna come up with an athlete collection. And in this collection, it's saying we get a book, we get a frame print, we get all this stuff. Okay, now it's giving us all kind of data to go with. Now what it didn't, now this is what it's telling us we can probably expect to get from this if we stick with this plan. And this plan, like I said, it's old, so it's not gonna be exactly right, but this is kind of what it's giving us. It's literally built out all this for us, but it doesn't know our price. It doesn't know our price, our cost of goods. So we need to tell it, hey, love the packages. Let's consider cost of goods, studio rental, and other things like marketing expense and random things we are not thinking of, especially community engagement to to grow the business fast. Okay, so it's giving me numbers, but it's not really thinking about any of my cost of goods. So we got the office space, which can go from $600 to $3,000. We have, so that's gonna be $12,000 probably to $15,000 a year. And that's being very, very generous. Like, that's being generous. Insurance, obviously, software to run this stuff, 17 hats, gallery system, Adobe, editing software, all this stuff. So we got quite a bit of expenses here. So it's saying 30,000 a year. Now this is old numbers, so I'm gonna add extra, probably 10 to 15 on here just to be safe. So we're gonna say about 45, just to be like, hey, we need $45,000 because we wanna build a little bank, a little something in case of a rainy day. So we're gonna need $45,000 a year. Now, it's saying Miller's because it knows I use Miller's, which makes sense. So it's saying, hey, this is all the stuff Miller's does. It literally pulled this up. I didn't put Miller's in here or nothing like that. It just kind of gave us an estimate of what it thought Miller's is charging. This is not Miller's actual pricing. If you want to know Miller's pricing, you need to head on to Miller's, set you up an account, put in your business EIN, and you can get that all wrapped up, and then you can have some actual pricing from them. But this is just what ChatGPT has found from just over the years. So it's telling me all the things that I need to consider to get the business out there. So now it's kind of putting on its marketing hat. And from there, like sponsorships, banners at stadiums, things like that. That way people can see us in the areas we want them to see us. It's saying senior rep program, that's gonna cost some money and time. Barbershops, local sports facilities, offer media days so you can meet a lot of students. And these are costs that we don't even consider, most of us. Travel, gas, tolls, parking. So after it spit out all that, let's see. It's saying the five Katy high schools most likely to produce your first 75 clients and exactly how photographers break into these schools. It's starting to deviate from my main purpose here. So I'm not gonna go that far in, but I'm gonna ask it to let me see the reworked packages with all costs considered. Because I think it's gonna give me some different numbers now that it kind of knows what the business is gonna entail and how we plan on growing it fast. So our average sale target is now $1,700 to $2,100. We bumped up the sitting fee from $250 earlier to $295. And then our first package is now $995. I think earlier it was $900, so it went up $100 almost. Package 2 is now $1695, and before it was, let's see what it was before. It was $1450, and then our top package was $2250, and it is now suggesting that it should be $24.95. So it's making educated decisions off of what we're telling it. They're like, hey bro, because this software, this AI, it's only as good as we allow it to be. It's not going to give us all the answers. And we can't just lean on this software to make our business decisions, but we can utilize it and let it take the marching orders and get the work done so we can make more educated decisions as entrepreneurs. So pretty much this is how, if I was starting a photography business tomorrow and I was going flop in some area or I was in my network, this is literally how I would start building my packages. And we have not been doing this very long, and we have gotten light years ahead of all our competition and what they would do to start offering. And from there, I would literally send these prices out to a couple of people in that area and be like, hey, look, just for consumer data. I wouldn't even be sending it to book them or anything. I'd be like, hey, I'm a new photographer in your area. I'm looking to start a business, I'm looking for senior spokesmodels. These are the packages that I offer. Does this look like something you would be interested in? And I would send this to probably 100 different people through DMs on Instagram or Facebook or something like that. That way I can get literally I could get a response from them to see if people would be willing to spend this much money on this type of service like this. And from there, it's just easy peasy, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, and continue to get the business. And you're gonna have to adjust it, because out of that 100 people, some of them are not gonna be where you want them to be. Some of them are gonna be a little bit lower. Some of them are gonna be, oh, this is so cheap, I would love to do this. Like we don't realize, we hear the world say, the economy, the economy. Everyone has their own personal economy. Everyone has what's worth something to them. Obviously the sun just came up, so now our screen it's daytime. So everybody has their own economy, and they choose what they're comfortable spending where. So that's something that we need to consider when we're building our prices and our price list. Don't build the price list for the masses, build it for the people you want to work with. And if you do that, you'll find great success, and you can utilize the same technique that I just did to build your price list in any market, any economy, anytime. And I wish you the best, and I know you got this. If you have more questions, feel free to drop them in the comments, and I'd love to engage with you there. Also, check out the Tademy Academy. It's a place to where a bunch of people like-minded like me, where we go hang out, we talk to each other, and we help each other, build each other up, and we learn from each other in that community. You're welcome to join. I'll make sure there's a link in the description so you can join our community. Right now, the community it's open to whoever wants to join. I literally get your request, and then I'll go approve it. And then you can see all the content that we've made exclusively for our community, and content like this. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Good luck building your price list, and I'll see you at the top.
Let's go.